Alright, guys, I'm just getting lived up here. Okay, so I'm live on Instagram and I'm live on YouTube. How you guys doing tonight? Thanks for joining. So we have a number of things to be talking about today. So one of the first things that we have to talk about is the developments with Iran. We're going to get this out of the way real quick. So, escalations in Iran. And hey guys, for the record, for the guys that are on Instagram, swing over to my YouTube on Linktree. I'll be able to see all of your comments. I cannot see your comments. I got this cable right here. I won't be able to see your comments on the on Instagram, but I can see your comments on YouTube, and I'll be able to interact with you guys. Iran. So Donald Trump today said that something traumatic is going to happen to Iran if they do not make a deal within the next month. That was his language. So that basically means that we are on notice for the next 30 days. If Iran does not make a deal, then things are going to happen. We have another carrier strike group heading to the region right now. So I've said this before, but with the current assets that we have in the region, and now we are sending more, these items or these assets are already overwhelming power. And we're going to have even more. Do I vape, bro? No, I don't vape. No, I don't vape. Phil is in. Fellow Keith. Hey Keith, how you doing? Keith Oliver. Appreciate you joining. So what that means, since we have more assets coming into the region, and Trump seemed in his language to give more time to the negotiations. It looks like there's not going to be anything happening this weekend again. If you guys have been following me, I tell you guys all the time, the stock market closes, and that is when the opportunity happens for you to be able to launch an attack. If you launch an attack when the stock market is closed, the stock market will never go down. But if you launch an attack in the middle of if you launch an attack when the stock market is open, then the stock market will drop. If the attack is actually successful and the stock market opens up back up at the end of the weekend, then the stock market will only go up. It will never go down. So a strategy that has been tried and tested in the U.S. is that, to not hurt the elites, basically the rich people, they make sure that they don't take a market hit. And if they do take a market hit, they're bet against it. So that's Iran. More negotiations in place. We'll be seeing more and more of this as we go through. So there's that. Iran. Next is, the Pam Bondi situation. So I do have a few clips that I want to talk about here. And it's with Pam Bondi. And if you guys have been following me, you guys know my thoughts on this entire situation. Pam Bondi is just, she went out there, and even the most loyal MAGA people, even those on the far right, were calling for her to resign. Kyle Rittenhouse called for her to resign. That's crazy, guys. There's a few clips that I want to show you guys here, so just 1 second. You guys on Instagram, swing over to YouTube, and then you'll be able to see what I'm seeing here on my desktop. So unfortunately, I don't have the whole get up with Instagram yet to be able to show you my desktop yet, but you guys should be able to see that. So first, I want to show you guys Ro Khanna, after he fought with the Justice Department for so long to unreveal the 6 redacted names in the files. So this is the first thing I want to show you guys.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday, Congressman Massey and I went to the Department of Justice to read the unredacted Epstein files. We spent about 2 hours there, and we learned that 70 to 80% of the files are still redacted. In fact, there were 6 wealthy, powerful men that the DOJ hid for no apparent reason. When Congressman Massey and I pointed this out to the Department of Justice, they acknowledged their mistake, and now they have revealed the identity of these 6 powerful men. These men are Salvatore Navora, Zorab Mikoladze, Leopig Leonor, Nicola Caputa, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, CEO of Dubai Ports World, and billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner, who was labeled as a co-conspirator by the FBI. Now, my question is, why did it take Thomas Massey and me going to the Justice Department to get these 6 men's identities to become public?
He's absolutely right. Why does it take 2 congressmen to go down and see the unredacted files to look for these 6 people that were co-conspirators that he just named on the House floor to make sure that he is protected? And it wasn't until after he named these people that they unredacted these names in the files. There were victims that were left unredacted. You guys understand that? There were victims that were left unredacted. So, after Ro Khanna reads these names, Pam Bondi testifies in front of the House. And I appreciate you guys joining. Dang, I missed a good chunk of your updates because of a fire alarm. I hope everything went well with that fire alarm. I'm glad you're back. Here, thanks. I appreciate it, guys. So again, the guys that are on Instagram, I can't really see your comments from there. If you come over to my YouTube where I'm live, I can see your comments. You can interact with me and stuff like that. So we'll be talking through everything as we go through. So the next item that I want to talk about today, like I said, was Pam Bondi. Oh man, Pam Bondi. Okay. So I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of commentary as we go through this. Of course, I'm not going to be able to be quiet the whole time. I'll switch back and forth. I'll try to be respectful as much as I can. But those of you who have seen my thoughts on this already will probably know where this is going. So, here we go. Miss Pam Bondi, everybody.
You apologized to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
Congresswoman, you sat before Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General Bondi,
No, can I finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a specific question that I would like you to answer, which is, will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice has done.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness gets to answer in the way they want to answer. The Attorney General can
that's
respond.
not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she doesn't like the answer.
Time.
So,
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't she ask Merrick Garland this?
I am reclaiming my time, and when I reclaim my time, it is
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady's reclaimed her
I'm not going
time.
to get in the gut.
Okay. So the back and forth was like this for a number of arguments. This woman just does not have respect for the chamber that she's sitting in. And last time she was in the Senate, she went after everybody that she disagreed with. And it's the same thing here. There's a powerful moment here in a moment where she's asked to turn around and acknowledge the victims of Epstein. Take a look.
For her theatrics.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer
theatrics
the
are
question
ridiculous.
the way I asked it.
Chairman Jordan, I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people, but I'm going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time belongs to
Reclaiming my time.
The time belongs.
I think it's very interesting.
Reclaiming my time.
I think it's very interesting.
You can
that
reclaim
he
your
talks
time,
about
but
they
reclaiming my time,
indicted.
Mr.
The
Chairman.
president said they
Close the
indicted
clock.
him
Mr.
twice.
Chairman, please
They
stop the
sure
clock
did.
and stop the
he
clock and
indicted-
restore his time.
Okay, here we go with these
Committee will be in order.
theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentleman from New York.
Even Jim Jordan is uncomfortable with what's going on. You can see it in his face. If this is on the other side, he would be hot. His face would be red. You would see veins going into his head, because I've seen it before. And he knows it. Look at him.
We'll give you a few more seconds. We will do that. But when
Reclaiming
you ask
my-
a question, the
The
witness
question
gets to
was-
answer. You may not like the answer, but she
Right.
gets to
The
answer.
question was, how many of Epstein's...
They don't like
Que-
the answer,
Reclaiming
Chairman,
my time.
because it's honest.
Reclaiming
So
my-
he asked a
Reclaiming my
4-minute
time.
question.
Restore 45
and
seconds to
I am
Mr. Nadler,
going
please,
to
Mr. Chairman.
I mean,
answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch.
Reclaim
Not
it?
on our time. No way.
Reclaim
And I
it?
told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me
Yeah, oh, I
anything,
did tell you because we
washed
saw
up
what you did in the
loser
Senate.
Lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Time, and I should get back at least 45 seconds.
We will give you a few more seconds. I
Not a
said that
few more, I should
already.
take 45 seconds.
Okay, I'm timing right now, Mr. Nadler. Go
All
ahead.
right.
My time. The answer to my question, how many of Epstein's co-conspirators is she indicted, is 0.
You are acutely aware of how important it is to protect the identity of victims of sexual assault, correct?
I have addressed this multiple.
Do you see how she's going through her burn book to try to figure out how to throw out the most intense insults that she can figure out? This is insane, guys. Again, on Instagram, if you guys are watching on Instagram, to be able to see what we're watching, to be able to comment, swing over to my YouTube. It's on my link tree. So thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it.
Times. I think others were cutting me off when I was trying
Well,
to.
I just simply asked, are you aware of the fact that it's vitally important to protect the identity of sexual assault victims as you prosecute the people they accuse of assaulting them? Isn't that correct?
Excuse me. As we have said multiple times,
Protection of the identity
of all victims
of the victims
are
is
protected.
so very
Who are
important.
protected under? Do you want me to answer, or do you want to interrupt?
Well, because you're not answering the question. You do a Jekyll and Hyde kind of routine around here, and I just want you to answer my questions.
What does Jekyll and Hyde mean? Can you
Well, it
explain
means
that?
you're nice to the
Explain that.
Republicans and you turn like Hyde on Democrats.
I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency. He's the one that asked that those files
I'm reclaiming my time.
be
I got your
released.
answer. You said there's no evidence.
Trump asked
Mr. Chairman, please
that
stop the
he
clock.
sign
Please stop the clock.
the legislation.
Time.
This is
Time.
this is
like to take my
ridiculous.
Time belongs to the gentleman from California.
Okay. I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a
I
crime.
believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you. Here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop a limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide.
So I've been trying to tell everybody this that has been listening to me. But when actions happen in a previous presidency, they can leave themselves open to prosecution from the next attorney general, whoever that may be. So I don't think this is the first time that Pam Bondi has explicitly lied. In fact, I showed you guys a package where I said that I think that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are both going to be impeached. There's clear inconsistencies. Kash Patel said that Donald Trump was not in the files at least 500 times. He turns out that when you go to the unredacted files and do a search, he's in the files 1,000,000 times. The only ones that we can see of reference of him right now is 148,000 times. It's in the Epstein files. It's public now. And congressional members went to the unredacted files and did a search. And Donald Trump is in there another 900,000 more times. 900,000 more times, fam. Now, they say that they can't release the rest of these files because it involves, young children, which is terrible. So why is Donald Trump in there another 900,000 times? This is some crazy shit, guys.
No one at the Department of Justice who
Time has expired.
Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years? Did you talk about Epstein?
I'm reclaiming my time. I'm glad you're asking about Merrick Garland.
You don't get to reclaim
because
time
this
when
is
you don't-
bigger than
when you can't-
Watergate.
when I don't answer a question the way
This
you
goes
want.
over 4 administrations. You don't have to go back to Biden. Let's go back to Obama. Let's go back to George Bush. This cover-up spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion of it.
And that's
now,
where the
I want to
most
know at what
transparent-
point did the FBI and the DOJ decide that Lex Wessner was not a co-conspirator? Because our Epstein Files Transparency Act requires you, please put it back on the screen, please, to release the internal decision about whether to prosecute him or not, and it's not in the files, and it's not in the files for any of these other men.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
May she answer?
And he's a hypocrite because he voted against the ban that we were talking about on deep fake AI porn. Only 2 people voted against it, and you were one of them, hypocrite.
Was the president aware of Secretary Lutnick's ties to Epstein when he chose him to lead the Department of Commerce? Was he aware?
Chris Malin was a Border Patrol agent.
Okay, so I'm going to conclude that the president, in fact,
You see how she doesn't answer the question directly? Because if she answers the question one way, she loses her job. If she answers the question the other way, she's going to go to prison. So what she says is that there is a Border Patrol agent that was hurt or something, is what she said. Completely separate from what we're talking about here today, guys. She does not answer the question in the affirmative or the negative multiple times. And it's because she knows that she's probably already going to prison.
Did know about his
In
ties
our
because
district.
he was the next door neighbor.
Shame on you.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
You're
this
from
is
a tiny,
pathetic. This
beautiful
is
state.
pathetic, Mr.
Committee
Chair.
will be in order.
I am not asking trick questions here.
You
The
got your
American
5
people
minutes.
have a right to know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration. This is not a game, Secretary.
I'm Attorney General.
My apologies, I couldn't tell.
Bam. I saw that earlier in the week. I'm Attorney General. I couldn't tell. Oh my God. As soon as I heard that earlier, that was just like icing on the cake from what was going on. One more time, the guys that are on Instagram, head over to my link tree on YouTube. You'll be able to send me chats and everything. After we review this video, I'll be able to go through some of these chats on YouTube and respond to some of you guys.
By 2008, we knew that Epstein was a convicted sexual abuser. And we now know that Lutnick went to Epstein's Island in 2012. How was that not a deal breaker for the president? And why aren't you asking questions of the Commerce Secretary about what he saw when he was at the island, which he lied about not ever going to? Why are you not asking these questions? And I see that my time is almost expired, so I will say this.
Shame.
Do the right thing, Attorney General. Meet with the survivors. They have been asking for a year. Meet with the survivors. Do the right thing. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from South Carolina is recognized for 5 minutes.
May I have 20 seconds of his time?
So that'd be up to the gentleman, but
Absolutely, Madam
Thank you. Thank you. I was curious if you, Congresswoman, asked Bill Clinton that. Didn't see one tweet, not one. I didn't see one tweet when Joe Biden was in office about Bill Clinton. Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once when he was
Weak
here.
sauce. Weak
And
sauce.
also, I want the record to reflect that, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution have you apologized for that in 2019?
So will you not?
President Trump, you're about
Trump's lies about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
You're about as good of a lawyer today as you were when you tried to impeach President Trump in 2016. Have you apologized for that in 2019?
So will you not? Will you unredact this? Will you
were
unredact
lead
this?
counsel on that. Privileged.
I'm asking you, will you unredact this?
Privileged.
Privileged, of course. I look forward to discussing this more. Now, these are obviously improper redactions.
And let me
to
stop for a
protect-
minute.
I'm
No.
talking. I'm
if they're
talking.
not privileged,
Quiet.
don't yell at me. If they're not
Mr. Chairman, would you
privileged,
stop the
Even though
clock?
you
This is on
use-
your time. It's not on Mr.
If they're
Goldsby.
not
Even though you
privileged,
used your
if we review
improper
them and they're not-
redactions
you'll like my answer.
to
If we
continue
review
to
them and they're not
protect
privileged,
Donald
Time belongs to
we
the
will
member.
be happy to release them.
We'll
after
stop the
review.
clock. We'll stop the clock. Time belongs to the member. Go ahead.
Even though you used improper redactions to protect Donald Trump and other predators associated with Jeffrey Epstein, you did the exact opposite thing with the survivors and victims of this scheme.
Damn. Something about saying quiet. Something about saying quiet. Dang. Let me see my chat here. All right, so let's go through some of the chats on YouTube here. How's everybody feeling? We're doing pretty good so far. Filibustering is exactly what she did. Yeah. The chairman is defending her because he's part of the same party. And if Donald Trump goes down in flames, then a lot of the senior members will go down in flames too. House of Cards, yeah. Explain the Jared Kushner. We're gonna get to the Jared Kushner situation. 1 million hits is absolutely insane. It is. That's 900,000 times more than what we see today, guys. He's in there 138,000 times today. If he's in there 1 million times, that means that's 900,000 more than what we can see today. Accountability. Yeah, you're right, Dylan. Haven't heard any answers. That's what she said. She just deflects. She doesn't go through. Roasted. Yeah, I love it. Quiet. That right? Best clapback. Yeah. How do we actually convince the people who support this that this is actually happening? Actually, I'm seeing it already in MAGA. I'm seeing it on the far right. They are, you'd be surprised. I've been seeing people talking about, where they were with Trump a year ago. And you can see some of their social media posts, and they're on board with everything that Trump wanted to do before the election. And now they're just like, they're watching this whole thing in horror. Remember what happened after Nixon, guys. The Republicans lost power for almost a decade and a half after that conspiracy. So this is not going to be good. Why do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene abandoned this entire thing? She ran because this entire situation, she knows it's going down, Okay, so that was that. Let's see here. I got another clip here that I want to talk about real quick with Donald Trump saying that Iran better make a deal on the Iranian side for their nuclear program, or traumatic consequences are about to happen. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about Jared Kushner and the breaking news today. So let's watch this, and then we'll get to Jared Kushner.
Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday, has your thinking changed at all as it relates to these negotiations with Iran,
We have
or
to
the
make a deal.
timeline with Iran?
We have to make a deal, otherwise it's going to be very traumatic. Very traumatic. I don't want that to happen, but we have to make a deal. They should have made a deal the first time, and they got Midnight Hammer instead. And this will be very traumatic for Iran if they don't make a deal. Look, if they don't make a deal, then it'll be a different story. But we had a very good meeting yesterday with Bibi Netanyahu, and he understands, but it's ultimately up to me. If the deal isn't a very fair deal and a very good deal with Iran, then it's going to be, I think, a very difficult time for them in the back. I guess over the next month, something like that. Yeah, it shouldn't take, I mean, it should happen quickly. They should agree very quickly.
Within the next month.
My wife said, if you win, we'll fly to Asia. If I win...
Shut up. Within the next month. From Trump's mouth himself. That's one thing I have to give Donald Trump, is that when he says something, it eventually comes to pass. So, continuing to stage assets off the region and expect action in Iran if no deal is coming within 30 days. Okay, so the coup de grace. Jared Kushner. Okay, let's start from the very beginning here. A whistleblower complaint came in the beginning of 2025, right when Donald Trump took power again. And a whistleblower, just to give you guys a little bit of context here, there's two different types of information that can get out. There's a whistleblower complaint, and there's a leak. Okay? A leak is an illegal transfer of information to people that have no need to know. Okay? A leak is an illegal act. Okay? A whistleblower complaint means that somebody has witnessed something illegal or unethical, and they documented it, and they sent it up the chain, and their chain of command has deemed it as a valid complaint all the way to the top. Okay? So those are the differences. A whistleblower complaint goes through the chain of command, and it's investigated. It's a very official process. Okay? Leak is like Edward Snowden. Exactly. Right? So again, one more time on the Instagram side, if you guys are watching me on Instagram, I can't see your guys' chat because you're up there. If you come over to my YouTube and put some chats in there, I'll be able to talk to you. The link is in my bio on Instagram. Okay, guys? So, the beginning of January, a whistleblower complaint came in, and it went up the chain. Tulsi Gabbard apparently has been stalling this whistleblower complaint that has been apparently validated and investigated by the chain of command, and it's valid, has such grave consequences for the United States national security. I appreciate that. Thanks, dude. It has such grave ramifications for U.S. national security that this complaint was locked in a safe, almost like secret or top secret information. So, the Gang of Eight, 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans, 2 from each chamber, was able to view this whistleblower complaint. Now, we heard right away that Tulsi Gabbard was not under investigation, and she was cleared immediately from this whistleblower complaint. And now we know why. Newsweek is reporting that the whistleblower complaint was a intercepted phone call between Jared Kushner and the Iranian regime. So if this was intercepted and started blowing the whistle in January of 2025, which is what is reported, that means that this action of Jared Kushner talking to the Iranians happened in the previous administration. Which means that if this is a fact and he was working with or alongside Iranians, or depending on what comes out of this, he was doing it without the authorization of the American people via election or appointment. It means that in the previous administration, Jared Kushner subverted the current American government and was talking to the Iranian regime. This is along the lines of some of the betrayals that we saw in the Revolutionary War, where some senior officers were actually caught collaborating with the British. This could be that impactful. Jared Kushner and Witkoff are leading negotiations in Iran now. So, we need to know more about this whistleblower complaint, what the details are, what the date of this intercepted call was. We need to know more about this, and why can it cause grave national security issues? Is that because is there some kind of deal between Russia and Jared or something like that, where they're helping the Iranians because Iran and Russia are allies? Like, what is going on here, guys? What's up next? What is going on here? Why would there be an intercepted call between Jared Kushner and the Iranians? Why was it sent up via a whistleblower? Which, again, a whistleblower complaint is when you see something illegal or unethical and you send it up your chain, and the chain of command then validates that this is indeed illegal or unethical. And it moves up through the chain in a very official process. And it got all the way to Congress. We need to figure out what the details of this whole thing was, because to me it sounds like our national security has been compromised. Just gonna say it, guys. To me, I feel like the national security of the United States has been compromised. Why is there a secret intercepted call? Not like it was recorded. It was intercepted. Excuse me. So, That goes completely against our position geopolitically. Yeah, I agree with you. If it's confirmed that this call was intercepted in the previous administration, that's all kinds of laws that was just blatantly broken. Intercepted means that basically, like if the you get a court-ordered interception, that means that the FBI or anybody that's looking into you can then tap your phone calls, right? And a lot of these interceptions are done through secret courts, which is what Snowden was talking about, right? So a warrant is usually issued in one of these secret courts when it comes to intelligence, and the capability is then there to drop in the middle of a call without you even having to set it up, which is the intercepted term. FISA warrant, yeah, exactly, yeah. So more than likely, and this is just my guessing here, Sauce Jenkins, my guessing here is that they did have a warrant through the FISA court. That's my guess. What are your thoughts about Israeli information systems? So I do know that Oracle is owned by somebody that's a big supporter of Netanyahu. The whole thing with Israel and Gaza, I wish I could take like 5 Israelis and take like 5 Gazans and just like have a barbecue and just talk to them. And I figure if I can just get those 5 people to talk to each other and just keep on doing that and just talk, we'd be able to figure out a lot. I don't like the way the world is so divided bitterly. You know, it's terrible. Sketchier than Pegasus, yeah. You know, and that's what I wish I could do. I wish I could like go down to like Gaza and like set up a huge barbecue, invite from both sides. We just make sure everybody is safe, and we sit down and we just all talk and have, you know, just a regular old barbecue, and everybody agrees ahead of time that we're all going to be, you know, civil and just have a civil discussion. If everybody approaches it that way, that's how you figure shit out. Yeah. Barbecue ribs and a cold beer. You can figure out a lot of stuff with barbecue ribs and a cold beer. I do think that is beer illegal in Gaza? I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, so they call it. I think they call it halal. I'm not quite sure about the religious differences with meat, because I did have a friend, that an old coworker that I used to work with, who was Muslim, and we went to a restaurant, and he specifically asked them not to add bacon, and he took a bite out of it, and then immediately he knew it was bacon, and he just you could just see that, like, his face just went pale, and I felt so bad for him, because he told them right there. I was sitting right next to him. He said, please no bacon, right? And I'm just sitting there. I was like, wow, you guys just kind of like intruded on his whole religion because you just didn't fucking listen, you know? See, and that's my whole mentality, right? Is that everybody is free to do whatever they want, right? Everybody should be able to be free to what, and if you want to choose to believe in something where, you're going to do certain things like not eat during certain times, or if you're not going to use like electricity certain times, or you're not going to eat bacon or pork, or there are a lot of different religions that have different things, right? If you choose to do that, as long as it's your own free will and not somebody forcing you to do it, then that's you, brother. Right? Exactly. There's Muslims that drink, yeah. There's Muslims that smoke. Actually, if we took a random guy from America and a random guy from Iran, and we sat them down and we just, like I said, just like with the barbecue scenario, and we just sat them down, we would probably vibe with each other, to tell you the truth. We probably would, because Iran is a westernized country as far as, as far as their culture goes. They're westernized. But they're very strict as far as the theology, right? Theocracy. I did see that there were studies on making near bacon or something like that. That was not halal, right? I'm not sure on the exact terms, but I saw something like that. So tomorrow's Friday, TGIF. I'll be going live again tomorrow night. We'll be talking about a little bit more about things that develop. I expect things to break a little bit more open tomorrow with some of these news stories. Content is always needed for the weekend in any story, right? So I would expect some of these stories to break wide open tomorrow. Expect some news on negotiations this weekend. I would say I would not expect an attack this weekend. Just based on what I'm hearing, Donald Trump himself just said about a month. So keep an eye on that. And I'll see you guys next time. So I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'll be dropping some reels tomorrow morning about some of the news that's been going on. So thanks for joining again, and I really do appreciate you guys. Thanks, guys.